What's up, Eagles? Welcome back to the channel. After a couple months of not being on YouTube, I'm back and I've got a really cool video for you guys. We had one of our students, Alex. He went through, watched all of our YouTube videos, took the principles we've been teaching and some other principles that he already knew, got amazing results. He was able to get leads for like under $2 or something crazy like that. And what he's done is he wanted to give back to all of you. So he made a video showing you exactly what he did, step by step, using a lot of the videos we've already made and some of the stuff that he already had in his mind and just from his own experience, made this video and he wanted to let me share with you guys. So without further ado, here it is.
All right, guys. So I wanted to show you how Final Expense Lead Eagles helped me generate 131 leads on Facebook for $50. This is what I call the infamous flag campaign. I've been getting a lot of contacts. People have been direct messaging me so that they want to know the details. So I promise to put it all together in one video. Here's the video. I'm going to show you step by step. And I highly recommend that you watch their videos on YouTube. Their content is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. If you're serious about this business and you want to make some serious cash, there's a lot of content that is worth thousands of dollars that they're making it readily available to you on their YouTube channel. And I took advantage of that, and I want to return the favor and show you how I did it. And also I'm going to show you a little mix of that. It's not entirely just the videos. It wasn't a standalone concept. Obviously, if you have experience in marketing or insurance, this is going to be very helpful. And if you don't, maybe this is a good way for you to learn how to apply those marketing skills into a campaign like this one. So let's move on. And by the way, you're going to see this image of Mrs. Katie Brown. She's the owner of a local funeral home where we actually did the campaign around. And I'll show you some details around that. And she's holding the flag. That was extremely important because I wanted to show how big the flag was. Some people thought they were going to get this little wavy flag that you put on a stick, and so that was a good move from our end to make sure that they showed that this is an actual 3 feet by 5 feet flag. And I'll show you also later on where you can get these at very low cost. So let's move on. So I'm going to show you a little bit of my strengths. That's me right there on the right. My name is Alex Vidal, and these are my strengths. And I always like to put out there where I suck and where I'm very good at. So strengths and weaknesses are awesome. So a few years ago, I created something called National Agents Network, and the idea was to always help agents reach their marketing potential. I'm still at it. I'm still working on that. And I manage about agents in 8 major markets in Texas. Texas is huge. So Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, etc. So for over 20 years, I've worked with what is called corporate marketing, member of the American Translators Association. And it's not like I'm beating my chest with this, but you're going to understand that, for example, the next one is Spanish speaking markets. That's what I generally focus on. I was born and raised in Mexico. I moved here when I was 13, and I've been working, since I was a very young man. I mean, I started working at 5 in Mexico, and I can tell you that story some other time, but I've always been interested in sales. I've sucked at sales in the past, just gotten a little better. And then I created the Insurance Marketing Expo. That was just to recruit agents in a different way. And my original background is in film, radio, television. I've written scripts and, done some video projects for nonprofits, etc. And I also worked as a sales director for an insurance pre-need company. Now, that's something that and this page is Final Expense, and I understand that, and I totally respect the platform. But because of this video, will include pre-need insurance. I thought it was important for me to mention that. I have a lot of experience in pre-need insurance. Those of you that don't know what pre-need insurance is basically funeral plans purchased at a funeral home. There are some places in the United States where you are allowed to represent the funeral home and you're not an employee. And as an independent insurance agent, you can include your final expense, your term life insurance policy. And if a client says, no, I want my funeral plan, you actually have the opportunity to do that. My job for many years was to help agents find that platform. Where do I suck? Weaknesses, very little knowledge on creating Facebook ads and other types of online ads. This is why I was like hugging every single second on those videos these guys published. And I was like, oh my God, this is like a gold mine for me. Because I am horrible, or I am less horrible at it today than I was before. And I was, putting these crappy ads and, boosty ads. And, I was just throwing my money away. I paid attention to their videos. I paid attention to other videos, but their videos, these guys, the Lead Eagle guys, I mean, they are the best. They are exactly what I needed for my platform, for my line of work. And so for that, I'm very grateful. I also sucked at being active on social media. Sure, I put out a couple of posts here and there, but there's a method behind the madness, and I'm far behind on that I need to catch up on. And so I'll admit that I'm very weak at that, and I'm going to improve on that. So understanding social media platforms, some people are talking about, Snapchat. Others are saying, oh no, you should go to, TikTok and all these other things. And believe it or not, these are some of the platforms that are getting a lot of attention today. You just need to know how to get into them in a very organic, not pushy sales kind of way. Forever, I've had a couple of things that I put together and I have been able to sell online. I am even horrible at affiliate marketing. And that's because the product has already been created for me. I just need to push the stupid link and I am terrible at it. So that's my confession to you guys. And that's me on the far right. So one thing that I do take serious is something called consumer psychology. And it's very important. If you haven't gotten into it, my first stop would be Robert Cialdini, who created a book called Influence. He's like what we call the godfather of consumer psychology, an ex-professor, PhD from the University of Arizona. And he created these techniques. One of his most successful book is out there. It's called Influence. And I actually applied two of his techniques in this campaign. One of them has been reciprocity, and the other was going to be consensus. And I'll explain where those two applied in this campaign. Shout out to William Knoll, who published on his own this curriculum. I think this is super awesome. Follow this guy, follow this chart, or I call it a curriculum like in college, because he even took the time to post minute and seconds. So that's how busy your life is. If you have 27 minutes of your life and spend it on learning about digital life insurance mastermind video that these guys posted on their YouTube videos, this is awesome. Again, thank you, William, for posting this. Look at them as a lesson plan and take it from there. Those are two major things that are going to be important as we continue. So, event calendars. If you haven't used an event calendar before, I highly recommend that you get one. And I highly recommend that you get yourself an events calendar, because that also gives you a purpose to go out there and brand your name and brand your image. Insurance in itself is super boring. Okay. And let's not kid each other. Okay. This whole thing about I'm going to read these policies for fun. Not really. It's a super boring career in itself. You're having to study for this license that you don't even own the license. You lease it every 2 years. At least in Texas, we do that. You're having to talk about death and finance and saving money and all that stuff. You don't get to talk about the fun stuff. So maybe this is a way for you to introduce yourself into a new type of community. Use the blue ocean strategy and do this. This is what I did. And so these types of events calendars have an excuse for you to be out there. So, for example, they'll have the National Grilling Month or Deli Salad Month. I mean, some of them are super ridiculous. National Lollipop Day. Maybe that's a day for you to, buy a bunch of lollipops, put your name out there, put your business cards, and you're just going to give away a bunch of lollipops. I mean, there's nothing wrong for you to start branding your name in a more fun way. And so I'll give you an example. This is where we did the American flag. We wanted to do this campaign for July. The other thing is January. Something that gets overlooked is January. Why? Because we're either hungover or partying too much or not enough money and dreading going back to work because of, 1st of July. I mean, rather January 1st, New Year's Day. And, here's one thing that happens. At least in 2019, the 9th is Law Enforcement's Appreciation Day. And so if you send out an email to the city manager and says, hey, my name is Alex Vidal, I own XYZ Insurance Agency. I'd like to thank our law enforcement community with a whatever, pastries or a deli or whatever you want to do. These guys are out there. And they're the ones protecting your community. If you have an office, they're the ones, driving around your office in the middle of the night while you're asleep at home and making sure no one's breaking into your business. Stuff like that. So it's a great way to also introduce yourself into city employees. I've had great success with city employees through workplace benefits in the past, and I can see that law enforcement are the last people that are looked into. Now you have no excuse. You know what day that is, and one advice in this case is go early in the morning because that's when they shift schedules or their shift ends. It's usually between 4 or 5 in the morning. So you may have to wake up extra early or as early as you can. Just another idea of how to maximize the use of an events calendar. We also use the support of a local funeral home. Again, we talked about pre-need insurance, funeral plans. And so we use the support of this particular local funeral home. Here's the ad. I put a bunch of emojis. Why? Because these guys were telling me on their video, hey, you should use emojis. I said, great, I'm going to use emojis. So to celebrate 4th of July, we're giving away free American flag 3x5 feet to the first 100 people. So plus receive courtesy information from our sponsor. Now, I immediately said, okay, register here. Now, here's this huge debate. Should we have a link to a landing page? Should we use the lead form? Look, I did both. What did I have to lose? So I found out, and it was very helpful to have both in this particular campaign. I'm not saying for you to do both next time, but I'm just letting you know that this worked. The headline said, attention mission residents. This is where I apply that consumer psychology that Robert Cialdini mentioned earlier, which is consensus. And if you have a chance to watch a illustrated video on YouTube from Robert Cialdini, watch that and pay attention to consensus. Because what we did is that we wanted to target not Texas, where most of these Facebook ads that you buy from vendors say, oh, attention Louisiana, attention Wisconsin, attention this. And it's like, I could give a crap about the rest of the state. What about my own community? So if you have a chance to mention the city itself, attention Mission residents, attention McAllen residents, whatever name of the little town that you're putting your ad on can really make a big difference. Secondly, if it's a big city, let's say Houston, attention South Houston or East Houston residents, anything that targets a specific location can raise better awareness or can make them aware of it and maybe stop and pay attention to the ad. I'm not saying that that's going to work all the time, but it helps a lot. That was the ad that we ran. We ran a video. For that, I'll show you. It's a very simple video that I put together. This is the one. So in case you didn't make the screen, this is it. It's just a little audio. Let me see real quick. So I got this through a company called Videos. Some of you that are online marketers that you can already know where that company produces these kinds of videos. Just put a couple of pictures in it. It flipped and it just went around and around and around. And that's all it did. So that's the ad. Actually, the video ad, just free American flag, couple of pictures, and that was the end of it. And that was this particular ad that I put together. Let me move on here. I use emojis. I would probably make this whole thing shorter next time. I use links for the landing page, abbreviated links, and you can get that from websites like Bitly and so on. If you don't have a website, I highly recommend that you use Google Sites. I've done landing pages with Google Sites. In fact, I actually produced a how-to video where you can effectively run a landing page using Google Sites. It's totally free. People are not going to look at your landing page and goes, oh my God, they're not using an actual domain name. Nobody cares about that. Nobody even reads domain names anymore. At least I don't. And so this link went directly to my website or my web page. But if you don't have one, go to Google Sites. It's free. And you can actually use that if you're thinking about using some kind of a landing page. So here's the targeting. What happened here? Also, the advice that I got from these guys was here. So if you leave it like this, it's going to target all three: people traveling in this location, recently in this location, and people who live in this location. So if I'm going after actual residents of this area, then I'm going to put people who live in this location. That's what I did on the ad. Secondly, the default radius map, or when you click there, it can go up to 50 or 25. So I want you to pay attention to this. This ad was ran on the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, This could go all the way up to El Paso if you are, living in that area. If you're not, maybe you're right by the border of another state that you could care less about, that you're not targeting, or maybe you're by either coast, west, east coast, or maybe you're on the north side, Wisconsin, etc., where you don't want to share that ad. It's too broad for you, and you just want to reduce it to that. Now, the default, when you reduce this by itself, when you put the name of the city, right, the least you can reduce it to is 10 miles. And you can see that it's still flirting with the, the river, the Rio Grande River, and, that awesome wall that apparently they're building. And so I don't want that. So what I did is I went this way. So I stuck with people who live here. Then I actually deleted that mission area. I was in the area. Now I could drop a pin here and reduce it all the way down to 1 mile. This is not me. This is an actual advice from, Lead Eagles YouTube page. Highly recommend you watch those videos. I can't stress that enough. And so what I did is I put 2. I just kind of plotted 2. I could have done 3 just to kind of be selective. Why did I do this? Because I knew the area very well. And if I didn't, I would have researched it anyway and find out if, I don't want to be dropping this where a bunch of farms are, located, or a very wealthy area where it's gated and I'm never going to open the door to me. So I just wanted to concentrate on a specific location, and I spotted 2, and that's where we stayed. And that's these are the actual locations that we stuck with. So that is very, very important. It will make maybe the difference, just the biggest difference, just by tweaking that little part, could make a big difference in your campaign. Again, I have people that tell me, "Oh, Alex, I want to conquer Texas." If you haven't been in Texas, or if you live in Texas, that's crazy. You're going to get a bunch of land on the west side of it on your way to El Paso. And those who live in Texas find out that it's like, okay, I shouldn't have done the whole state. Stick with the city, stick with an area. Now, questions that I asked on the lead form and the landing page. So, the lead form from Facebook already comes with its own automated questions, but you can add some. And so what I did is the name, address, phone number, type of time to drop off flag. I didn't put an actual calendar time or a time frame. I just put I didn't put from 8 to 9, 9 to 10, etc. What I did instead, I put between 8 and 12, 12 and 5, and 5 and 8 p.m. And this was done on the landing page. Now, what I recommend now, for me at least, what I'll do next time is that it'll be by name only. I don't care about the last name, because when you call someone to let them know, I found out that if you say, "Hey, hi, yes, Mrs. Johnson," they immediately know or think that that's a sale. Like, "Oh no, wrong number," boom, they'll hang up on you. But if I call them by their first name, I found out that they immediately responded to this. So if I said, "Mary, hey Mary, how you doing?" It's like, "Oh, hi, who's this?" And then boom, I'll jump on it. Many other times, if they already gave me the time frame, I was going to be driving around anyway. I'll just pop at their home, and that's it. Well, another thing is I did need the address and phone number just in case, but many times I didn't need the phone number to call them. I actually needed to text them, and I'll show you how that worked later on. Time to drop off the flag. What I would do next time, and I'm doing this now in another campaign, same thing, and then I will put any time or Saturday between 9 and 12. Those of you who are very successful doing final expense sales or insurance sales, I don't know about you, but I've had great success on Saturdays. I don't do a lot of sales anymore because I've got to focus on agents and marketing, but Saturday was my best, between 9 and 12 p.m. So this is a good way for them to have options, but at the same time don't feel like they're having to be there at that moment. So I got great participation before lunch. Great, the best. Fresh, going, hey, let's do this, happy, smiley. People who couldn't be reached after 5 p.m. because of the time or before the 4th of July campaign were seen on Saturday. We just popped in there on Saturday, even if they had not put that in there. And then we left a note, and I'll show you a little bit about what we did when we couldn't find them at home and we were running out of time. The worst time was always between 12 and 5. 12 and 2, obviously eating, or if they were at home all morning. 12 is like, all right, I need to get out of the house. I'm just going to go to the store, and boom, that's when you show up. You're not going to find them. We had a hard time finding people between 12 and 2:30, even though they said leave it, stop by between 12 and 5. So they had good intentions, but obviously they didn't want to stay at home or they had something to do. Other time, now remember, this ad ran in the summer. If it's in the fall or the spring, you also have to be careful if they give you that time frame, because they may have to go pick up the kids. And if they're little ones, they're going to pick them up around 2 or 3. So just pay attention to all of that. I ran the ad for a total of 4 days. This is why I was like, oh, crap, there's a lot of people here for such a short amount of time. The ad ran a week before. We actually ran it a week before we ran it again. And this was during the middle of June, and we got 0 leads because it was too early. Then we ran it 10 days before 4th of July, and it was very successful. So the reason why I recommend that if you're doing a campaign that has to do with like Memorial Day or Labor Day coming up at the time of this video, or any other event that is nationally recognized like 4th of July, 10 days or 15 days before, maybe 10 days, it's very good. Why? Because your ad is one. Tons of other Facebook ads are going to be promoting 4th of July. They're already in the front of them. Where are we going to go for 4th of July? What are we going to do? TV ads, radio ads, they get bombarded and to remember 4th of July. So all of those things are helping you remember 4th of July or your campaign. So you're not doing this alone. Okay. There are a lot of other things happening, furniture stores, auto dealerships, those, they bombard your local TV, radio stations because that's when they make their most sales. And so that's very helpful to you. Just remember that part. Just, if you do it slightly too soon, you may get upset because you've already dropped that part of your budget, very tight budget you may have, but just try to keep within 10 days. Okay. Just my recommendation. So Alex, where did you get those flags? So there are plenty of vendors purchase flags from wholesale vendors only. The average cost of the flag should be about, if you order 100, it's $1.78. So you're spending about $1.78 plus mail. Don't pay more than $2. The other thing is, my preferred vendor, AliExpress. Look, they're going to come in from China, meaning they're going to come in and take forever to get here. So don't try to order them from one day to the next. Try to order from a local vendor, wholesale vendor, or maybe a vendor that is in the United States. Why? It's not so much the quality of the product. I mean, that's important, but it has to do with time. And you want to make sure that you don't start this campaign and now you're going to, dropping IOUs at people's homes after 4th of July because your flags never made it. So that's going to be very important. One of the companies is Maxim, formerly known as BNF USA. And those of you that might use it before, that's one way that you do it. And there are many others. But again, just keep in mind where those flags are coming from. Okay. This is what happened. This is what really changed the whole thing. We got a total of 69 leads from the landing page that were on a website from Wix. Now, the reason why I bring Wix, because some people may use Bluehost or any other these other vendors, or Square or other companies that provide you domains and websites and hosting sites. I use Wix. I've used Wix for almost 10 years now, and I'm so used to it. And so what happened is that I can actually, just like when you do Facebook ads, the lead form. When you want to download it, you can actually download it as a Excel spreadsheet. So here's an example, and I highlighted this because this lady put her name twice by mistake. Just wanted to make sure. And I asked a few questions. Where did you hear from us? So what happened here is that we also put a small poster and a sample at a local seafood restaurant, and but most of them I said, like, give us a special comment. This was very good. My brother's a Marine. So he's serving right now somewhere. Happy 4th of July. So all of these responses were motivating us to go, man, let's go see these people right away. Let's surprise them. And it's like, wow, maybe if I have an extra flag, maybe they have another loved one, we can give them 2 at that moment. And then here's the time frame. Look what they did. So you see, early, evening, a lot of them work. So therefore, they were doing this. So what was my target age group? I kind of did 45 to 64. Okay. Now you can do whatever you want with your age frame based on the vendor or the carrier that you're using. That's something else. But I used that age frame. And so obviously a lot of them were working the afternoon, you see, but there were a lot of them that were also morning. And so they gave us their phone number, their address, what time. This was from the Facebook lead form, the infamous Facebook lead form. Just, shoot it and that's it, set it and forget it. Well, those we got an exact 60. Okay. And these were different people. And the behavior was slightly different. Again, I was using different questions here. What time? I made the mistake of just going with what time as a question. But later I figured out that I could actually do it the same way. Like this, I could actually apply it here. You see, when you make things too easy for the person and they just push the button, it's convenient for you and you want to make it as convenient as possible to them. You're going to get a different reaction than when they take the time to click on the page and, fill it out and so on. We did see a slightly different behavior here, more like the other thing here with the lead form is that I couldn't show them anything else. I couldn't show them an awesome picture on the landing page or maybe a short video to see more stuff and just get them more excited. You can't do that with a lead form. You can only show a static picture in there and that's it. So just think about it. If you can do both, go ahead and do both. But if you need to just use one, decide which one works better for you based on your campaign. I'm just showing you both. So right here, that's 129 leads. And that's enough to spin your head around, especially when you do it in a very time-sensitive format, okay? Wix delivers the leads directly to my email because it's connected there. And this is what they look like. So the Wix leads receive automatically in my email. And to receive Facebook leads, in the same way, I recommend they use a software called Zapier, and there's some videos on how to put those together. Yes, by these guys, the Lead Eagles. Okay, so just watch the videos. I can't stress that enough. And so what happened here is that I started receiving these emails at all times of the day, the hours. So here's what happened. The cool thing about it is that if I received that email and I was in the area and I was like, hey, based on the map, this thing is like 10 blocks away. Let's go get him right now. And those were the best reactions because you're like, hey, did you order a flag from Facebook just like 2 minutes ago? Oh my God, right away. Yeah. And so it creates a better reaction that we're just taking advantage of the opportunity. It doesn't happen all the time. That's what happened this time. So it gives you the name, phone number, all the stuff that you put in there. And this is cool because now you have it here. So you have agents, you have zero excuse. Boom, just forward it to that person and goes, hey, here, go take care of that, those two leads. So that's what they look like. One of the things that we did, obviously, I mentioned earlier, was Google Maps. One thing I recommend, if you can do this on paper, print out a copy of that area that you're working on and create quadrants. So this is what I did. We were going like chickens with their heads missing, back and forth, wasting gas. What I did is that I created a quadrant and I put a number on it, and then we put the names on that. So that way I can just concentrate in the morning on quadrant number 3 based on what time they wanted us to see them and so on and so forth. So it was much easier, effective, less time consuming, and we finished a lot sooner than when we first started. So we were now giving them quality time instead of just like, hey, here's a flag, thank you, here's the quote, blah, blah, blah. So, and here's some examples of what we did. I mean, I'll refer to this picture in a few seconds, but you see, we asked them, hey, can you stand out there? I even helped this lady put this flag up here. The young lady has a disability, and so she's actually the one who put the wanted her flag for her brother. She saw us on Facebook, wanted a flag for her brother who's serving right now in the Marine Corps, and her mom was very gracious, and we went ahead and put that flag up there. And then you can see in some cases we couldn't find them, and when we could find them. I didn't do this all the time, asking them for a picture, but when I had the chance and I felt like, hey, you could really help out, I took advantage of that. So, for example, I really liked her. She was very nice to us, and she was her mom was away, and I said, "Hey, you know what? You're gonna be my victim. We're going to take a picture of you and send it to your mom." And that's what I did. Short videos work even better. In this case, I used 2 of them because they were there, and this made the flag look even bigger, at least to me. So that's one way for you to start collecting this and start publishing it on your website or your Facebook page. And I'm going to show you how to maximize this information in a few seconds. So the pitch, I was very direct. I was very animated. I was very happy, even though my back was killing me from driving around. I did take another agent with me. I highly recommend, especially if you have this massive amount of them, because while I was doing this, she was giving them the quote. And so I said, "Hey, Mary, yeah, did you request a free American flag on Facebook to celebrate 4th of July? Oh, yes, I did." Most common answer, which scared me, was like, "Oh, I didn't think it was real," which makes me think, and you still gave me your personal information? Interesting. So, well, we delivered, and here it is. That was very important. That whole comment about we delivered was not an accident. It was meant to confirm and to say that what we did was real and that we kept our word. So if you can throw that phrase in there and says, "Well, here it is, we delivered," something to that effect can be very helpful to gain their trust and say, "Man, these guys are men of the word," or I trust what they say, and here's the confirmation. Here's their flag. Then I explained that the purpose of this was to celebrate, obviously, the 4th of July. If you're doing a Memorial Day, this is to honor our heroes who passed away, and then to raise awareness in our community about the importance of having a life insurance. Whatever campaign you're doing, then add a tagline to it, and this is what I said. Many families struggle to pay for a funeral service. They're reaching out to friends and families for a loan, or going online to create a GoFundMe page, or asking their church for a donation. Have you heard of anyone doing this? They dropped their guard. They got the flag over their shoulder. That didn't. Absolutely, I've heard about this before. And then I give them a quote. I use a very special quote sheet that I put together. Makes my job much easier, and it has a referral part in it. That in 30, 40 seconds, I was already almost finished giving them their first quote. A lot of them did not want to let you inside, or at least in my case, tons of dogs in there, or their house was a huge mess and they were embarrassed about it. Look, I was there to deliver a flag, and then secondly, to give them a quote. Did I accomplish that? Absolutely. And if you focus on that first, delivering the flag, keeping your promise, and then giving the quote, closing becomes much and much easier, and they don't get annoyed. Because if you go through with the intention of giving them a sale or selling them a product, it comes across crappy as a bait and switch situation. So I didn't want to do that. So I gave them the 3 quotes, and that was it. And you know what? In some cases, this is an actual story. This is one of my new clients. Sometimes the applications were filled outside. This lady had like 4 or 5 big dogs inside, 1 outside. I don't know what in the world she was guarding, and I don't want to find out. All I know is that she was thinking about it. She had been thinking about it. And then I showed up. She was excited. She's got that flag folded right here, and she's got some information from me, and we're helping filling out her application. And that's it. She's one of my clients today. What happened when we were at home and we were running out of time? You see this right here? There's a little note that I put together. Now, what would I do now? I will make that note not just this square thing. I would probably print it on better paper or make some nice background on it. And this is for illustration purposes. I wouldn't pin it at their house, but I would hang their flag there. I would actually tape it at the door. And this is what it actually said. Now, again, maybe too wordy for you. Maybe you want to change it, whatever it is. So I said, enjoy 4th of July with your brand new flag, courtesy of weekly giveaways. We're National Agents Network. We want to thank you for participating in our giveaway. We specialize in life insurance and funeral planning for low-income families. That's a little tagline that I use all the time. Keep supporting our Facebook page, and I gave them the side where you will have a chance to win more prizes. And I give a lot of stuff away on that page, just to kind of keep things moving and help us promote our life insurance, final expense, and funeral planning services with other families. Again, comes across too wordy. Who cares? I'm not there anymore, and I'm not going to have a chance to go see them again, maybe. So I want to maximize the little time while they're excited to have received the flag at their doorstep. Please share our contact information with any family whom you feel would have had a hard time paying for a funeral service. So you can read this on your own. You get the idea. My name, phone number, and don't forget, happy 4th of July. Okay? So what happened when I did that? I immediately took a picture of it. I texted it to the number they had provided. Some texted back, others called back, some never responded, some called days later. Others asked for an appointment, and some asked to be quoted over the phone. It was a really nice blend of everything. And so here's what I originally said. I said, hey, this is Alex Vidal. You requested an American flag and enjoy. Okay. Thank you very much. We're in the hospital with my mom, and I thought about it this morning. Thank you. So they were very, very, very gracious about it. Wish your mom the best. Happy 4th of July. Thank you. And likewise, pow. Secondly, I used that picture from the young lady, and I said, hey, good afternoon. It's Alex Vidal. You requested an American flag to celebrate the 4th of July, and we delivered. You see that? I mentioned that again here. Enjoy. Left you a note at the door to help you more about, tell you more about us. Happy 4th of July. Thank you. And she's laughing. That's her daughter. I will display with pride. Awesome. That's it. Done. So don't be afraid to leave it at the doors. Don't be afraid to, oh, I'm not going to make a sale on this one. Listen, if you're thinking, at least in my opinion, flag first, quote second, close is a natural mechanism. And guess what? Zero complaints from anyone. After I finished this campaign, what I did is that I used all of those phone numbers just to kind of go back in it and see what we could do. I used a company called Simple Texting, but there are plenty of other texting companies available out there. This was to me the most affordable, and they could do the job for me. I paid $25 a month, up to 500 messages, so I had about 130 people to message. So that was good. That's within my budget. And this was the actual message. Congratulations on receiving your free American flag. Thanks. Learn more about us and get a free insurance quote here. Click. Boom. Reply stop to stop. Now, here's an option on Simple Texting. You can actually remove this. This is automatic in case I want to stop. So a few people that I had missed responded to this text and asked for their flag. So we made 4 more visits. People were texting us like, hey, I never got my flag. What happened? And then, boom, sorry about that. We're on our way. And we went back. So it was good. And this is where he was sending them to. This is one of the pages that I have. So I put in there, hey, congratulations, City of Mission. We gave away over 100 American flags. We want to thank you for receiving us at your home. We also help dozens of families receive affordable insurance coverage. Thank you. And this is a little carousel that I can use with Wix, where it displays multiple pictures like the ones I just showed you. And since for over 15 years, we have specialized in affordable life insurance coverage for low-income families. There is no need to leave your family with a financial burden. We can help you, pal. And then right here, there's a little slideshow. I showed them 5 ways that most people find a way to help pay for a funeral. Fundraisers, GoFundMe pages, ask their friends and family for money, ask a church. This last show right here, and this is, hey, get a quote today. Again, this is the old one that I had put together. The new one coming up doesn't have the age frame. The reason for this because the carriers that I use, and I'll show you the rest of it, and I'll actually mention it here. So this is the bottom part of that, street address. And then here I put coverage between 5 and 10, 15 to 25, 25 to 50. You can change and do whatever you want. And then I added the 2 types of cremation or traditional service with casket. So here's my update. I would say I don't ask for the age anymore because my products can handle that. And I'm going to ask for their age again. All of these questions, if you're asking too many questions on a lead form or a landing page questionnaire, can actually deter them from, finishing the questionnaire. Or it could actually, they're like, too much for me. Favorite hobby, smoker, non-smoker. Look, I could care less about their hobby. I'm more interested in can they qualify for coverage or not. And I get it why some people do the whole hobby thing. I never needed it before. So if I don't need it, why put it there? Smoker, non-smoker, male or female, last name, age. Listen, I'm going to find out whether it was a female or male when I meet with them. I'm going to find their last name. I can ask for their age. So all of those questions, if I can ask those things in person, or I'm going to ask those questions in person anyway, why put them here and why make the whole process delayed or longer? Okay, that's just my personal opinion. And obviously we said, hey, when can we drop off the flag? And this other questionnaire is, when can we drop off your information? So best time to drop off was in the other one, but this one is, best time to drop off your quote. So I meant to put here best time to drop off your quote. And so it says, best time to drop off your info. So anytime, I'm there all day. We started getting some texts back, just like this one. Remember, I used Wix on this one. So we got some people that wanted some information. What are you interested in? Cremation. No, I'm not taking prescribed medication. And best time, 5 to 8. I closed 2 of these, husband and wife. Again, these are people that are thinking about it. They're seeing the ads, but maybe they don't have time. And now they're like, boom, you're finally motivating them to make a change and to make a decision. So that helped. So the cost, I spent $250 on buying these flags. Shipping costs hurt my budget since there was an emergency overnight delivery. Remember, I was expecting like 10 leads at the most, and I've got a ton of those. So I was like, how soon can we get this? I was afraid I wasn't going to get those things quickly enough. But if you can actually time it and say, look, I'm just going to buy the 100 American flags. There are plenty of holidays where I can use them again and again. Do that. It's a more cost-effective way to go about it. I kind of applied an estimate of $250 on gas and meals. Remember the $50 from the Facebook ad, $25 for the service. So I spent about $575. I could have reduced this to maybe $300. Who knows? Maybe I packed my own lunch, which actually we did. Towards the end of it, it's like, we don't have time. Just pack your lunch, eat it while you're driving. Let's get it over with. So there you go. So what were the results? 131 flags delivered, 118 quotes provided with special referral quote sheet, the one I mentioned earlier. So I've closed so far, 27 applications were filled and, clients closed basically. I'm estimating 70 to 30, 70 funeral plans, cremation traditional. So far, we've made about $21,500 on the pre-need commissions and another $11,000 on the final expense commission. After that, we seized the moment. We seized the opportunity. I actually, the World Cup was happening, Women's World Cup was happening. I had obviously some flags left over, a lot of them because of that overnight shipping. And so I said, hey, they just won the World Cup. Let's make it happen. I ran it for 2 days also. I got 6 leads. I closed 1. It was a cremation with view. And so it was a pretty good deal. It was about close to $1,000 commission on that one. And I ran it at a different location. This was a couple of towns nearby that area where I first ran it. I just kind of changed the whole thing. You see, I splashed it with emojis and just 25 people to register, not 100. And then after that, I chickened out and I was like, just close it. And I had a lot of work to do. And I didn't have agents to back me up on this one because this required training, really. I couldn't just send anybody and say, okay, he'll go here, deliver flags and get a quote, because if they're not well trained. I knew they were going to go in there and try to close a client. And I didn't want to risk messing that up. So I just left it alone. And I said, hey, there's always next year. I actually used the same software and I did it like this. And that got my, that got a little bit of attention. And that was the actual ad. So why, in my opinion, it worked. The main focus was to deliver the flag, not to close a client. The second focus was to quote, not to close the client. The third focus was to follow up with a thank you text, not to close the client. The last focus was to offer another chance to get a quote, to recommend us to others, or to choose a plan. Now I'm trying to close. I avoided pressuring the prospects. I made my campaign very clear that I will be getting them the flag and an insurance quote. No bait and switch here. That's very important. I made sure they received the flag no matter what. I stayed on message. I was always excited and happy to deliver the flag while at the door, even though my back was killing me from getting in and out of the car and driving around. And I stayed positive no matter what happened. Big smile and excited. Remember, it's 4th of July. Please get excited on your campaigns and, motivated. And that makes the biggest difference. And note, I highly recommend that you treat each campaign, whether successful or not, as an account. This helps you go back to each campaign and improve on it or grow with it. And it increases your community trust, loyalty, and yes, obviously, you're going to make more sales, I think. I hope that was very helpful to you. If I didn't have the background that I have, I wouldn't have thought about that campaign. But if I had not met these guys, which I highly encourage you to watch those videos, and if you're not watching them, What are you waiting for? And pay attention to them and actually do it. Don't be afraid. If you're horrible at it, hey, listen, join my club. I was terrible at it. And I hope that this helps you. If you don't have the budget, then work on it, put it together. I want to thank you guys for this. So take care.
Wow, what amazing value. Thank you, Alex, for putting that together. I seriously hope all of you realize how valuable it is and how you can take that and start generating your own leads. If any of you want to figure out a little bit more about some of the specifics he talked about and how to implement those yourself, I've started a new program. It's called Final Expense Advertising Masters. It's a group, it's a course, it's everything combined. It's where we have the most exclusive people that understand Facebook ads coming together, helping each other out, sharing their experiences, sharing what works. If you want to join, I'm going to put the link below, give you a little bit more information, but you can get there. You can go start implementing it on your own. I just want to say thank you to everybody for watching this video. We're going to start putting out a lot more videos, a lot more content coming back to you. So if you want to stay up to date with all of the latest tricks and tips with Facebook ads, YouTube ads, any sort of digital content, digital advertising for insurance, final expense, and any other type of insurance, make sure you hit that like button and definitely hit subscribe. All right, thanks. See you on the next one.